Alright, hey everybody, I'm back. So yeah, it was kind of a silly mistake which I was expecting, but I did need to restart anyway. My computer was sluggish, so I'm not super torn up about it. But yeah, I'll probably just upload this part to YouTube, so I'll just do a quick recap of what I did before. I created this ability args class, which will pass to our ability usable scripts. We just create it right here, as you can see. All pretty simple. And I was having trouble, excuse me, because I had changed this script here to not print out the battle state. But as you can see when I run it, it still prints it out. Where? Oh, I didn't save it. Let's try that again. I already fixed it, and so I want to show the error again. Okay, and now click. And so it says, it's telling me information about the monster, which I did not want because I commented it out. But the problem is that these functions are named the same. You can see here. And so this overwrites and it still has these print. So yeah, it's kind of silly. That was my bad. I should have renamed this when I copied it. So let's say ability move, I don't know, let's call it targets. But now that I rename the function, it won't be overwritten. And that's just going to be a problem. So you can see hello, then the ability usable args, and then the ability name. So yeah, that's all fine. It's just because the functions are all in the global namespace. There's not really a better way to do it. You just got to be careful. But we don't really need any printing right there. So let's see. I'm gonna just create the script how I want it to work, and then we'll figure out what we need to do on C# to make it happen. So basically we'll have another args here, which will give us the ability ID and the using monster. Then of course I can access the game state global at any point. Let's see. So for the move target, basically how it will work is it will see what hex the monster is on, and for now we're just going to assume that they only stand on their feet, so like no climbing or flying. And then it just looks at all hexagons next to it and see if it's an air tile with ground beneath it. So that's going to be the gist of it. Okay, so first let's get the monster. We should do lowercase, I think. Equals game state get monster args dot monster index, and then we can get the monster position is monster dot position. And it'd be nice if maybe there's a way we could loop through the monster position and get all neighbors. Pretty sure in Moonsharp you can do that. So let's look that up real quick. Moonsharp iterators. Let's see if that's what we need. A sequence of numbers. Okay, it's a function that returns an IEnumerable. So yeah, that works. Okay, so let's do that. For neighbor in monster position dot get neighbors. Actually, yeah, these should all be lowercase. That's the style rule in Lua. So do okay, and then neighbor if neighbor, let's have an is valid and neighbor dot prototype equals empty and neighbor. Okay, well I guess we'll just do that for now. And then we'll need, let's get local below equals neighbor dot below. We'll have another helper function there. And then if below is valid and below prototype. For now we'll just say anything that's not empty is able to be stood on. But that might not be the case in the final game, obviously. Okay, so if this is true, then we want to add this to a list. So let's say local move to possible, and then you can use this tinsert function, or I guess that's not here. So table insert move to possible. And then we'll put neighbor, and that will basically just adds this to the end of the list. Okay, so then for possible in I pairs neighbor do. Okay, and what this iPairs function does, it's a built-in Lua function that basically, we should actually do that. Basically returns the index and then the value for every object in this table if you associate it as a list or think of it as a list. But we don't care about the index here, so that's why I'm just using this underscore, which is traditionally like a throwaway variable. We don't want to do maybe something like move to possible. So now we'd want to make a target on this tile. So let's see, how would I do that? Let's just go really simple right now. So basically we want to make a new option. Local option equals new so add option. We'll just do that. And then option dot indicators equals that. let's not do that. So local indicator else option dot add indicator, and then we'll just have the indicator dot type equal move and indicator dot position equals possible. How about instead of possible we just change this to position, and then we'll return true, meaning that we didn't encounter any errors. So I hope this script makes sense. Basically, we use the game state to get information about the monster and the monster position, and then we'll have this helper function in the block position to get all I guess it should be horizontal neighbors, shouldn't it? Because technically it'll have 2 vertical neighbors, but normally we won't care about that. And then so we loop through all the horizontal neighbors. If the neighbor is valid, which means that's inside the bounds of the map, and the prototype is empty, which just means it's an error tile basically, then we'll go look at the tile below this and we check if it's valid and the prototype is not empty. If that's possible, then we can insert neighbor into this list. So here we loop through the list, and I'll have this helper function which basically will add, I guess it should be ability option, and the C# code that controls this will know which ability that this script is running for, so it'll be able to keep track. And then we'll add an option, and then we can add as many indicators to that option as needed. So we just want one for a move position. So yeah, well, maybe this part is kind of rough. I can think of some other ways we might need to change it, but this will be good for now. In fact, the position might need to be position dot below, because the indicator would be on top of this or on that block. But yeah, this will be fine for now. Okay, so let's see if we can knock out some of this code. So I guess I'll go ahead and create the ability targets Lua caller. So ability get targets Lua caller, and I'm gonna just copy basically all this for now. We'll use it as a blueprint. Ability get targets. Okay, and then again we'll want to have unique in and out structures for this, because in a chess game, whenever we had to change the arguments to a query, it was a pretty big pain. Oh yeah, this is the wrong namespace, that's why it's complaining. Because we had to go through all the uses of the query and change the types. But now we can just add and remove things from these structures whenever we need. So results and parameters. Okay, and this is fine for now, but we'll actually want to change this to ability get target arguments. Get targets args, which we can pretty much copy this exactly. Get targets. And then we need to import mean sharp interpreter. I don't want to use the same class, even though right for now we pass the same information, but they might be different in the future. Okay, gotta get mean sharp here as well. Okay, so let's add something else here. Let's get targets query. It's not gonna let me do that, is it? This is in data ability. And we'll worry about actually getting the Lua function in there probably tomorrow. So an ability get targets. Okay, so this will be different. In fact, for now, it has to be a boolean and true for us to see this as not being an error. So if return value does not equal null. Okay, so if it's null, then that means that there was some other exception, so we don't need to throw something else. Although I guess we couldn't even get to this point, but... Okay, so yeah, if return value does not equal null, and return value dot type is boolean, and return value boolean, that just means true. I guess I'll write it out to be clear. Okay, so we actually want the opposite of this, so, but I'm actually just going to put this all together and then say if this entire thing is false, oops, if I can spell it, then let's say legal return value from ability get, oh come on, get targets function. We could even like print out what the value actually was if it was a string maybe, but this will be fine for now. Okay, what will the result actually be? I guess that's the question. It'd be basically a list of the options. So, let's see, I already have like a turn options thing here, but I'm not sure if that will be used. Might just make it obsolete. Because this information here is in the abilities, or in the current scope. So I don't need that. And I guess this would be in the scope too, so I'm not exactly sure what this class is good for. So I'll just go ahead and mark it obsolete, and we can go back and delete it later when we're sure we don't want it. Okay, so let's just add another class here. Ability option. I guess let's call it ability target option. And then this should probably be ability target indicator. I guess I'll need to rename this too, won't I? I've noticed that if I mess with the namespace here, it doesn't automatically change the class name, which is a little annoying, but... Okay, so what... It doesn't need to be public. What will we return here? Or what will this class hold, I mean. So no actions yet. We're going to go back to the ability once the player chooses the actual target to get that. I guess we'll have a list of ability target option. As well as I guess that's really it for now. I know that we'll need to have other information because the Lua script will probably be able to store information in here so it can easily rebuild the action list in the future. In fact, like for some of these moves, like this one is very simple, but some of them we might want to actually have like path calculations using some other algorithm, like maybe you've heard of A star, which is good for path finding. And in that case, we definitely want to store the path used in this, like to create the indicators. That way we won't have to find the path again. So that would be one option to store in here. But like I said, I'll worry about that later. Okay, so we know this needs a type and also a hex position. I guess it could just be an index. So position. Okay, and then kind of like how I did the map generation, we had the field builder, which is like the C# component of what the Lua calls to build the field and the map generation. And then we had this separate field gen class, which is like the actual functions for the map generator. So we'll do something similar, I think. Okay, but let's just start up at the top and see what I need to make. Okay, so I think we already have the position on the monster. Let's make sure. Yeah, position. Okay, so that's good. So now we need to get horizontal neighbors from the block position. So let's go here. So I think, let's see. What did Moonsharp say? Is this a function that returns an IEnumerable? But I guess, yeah, I'd actually want. Okay, well no, I think IEnumerable is fine. Oh, I don't need to copy and paste it, do I? So public IEnumerable block position get horizontal neighbors. So this is pretty easy. Yeah, right now it's complaining to me that not everything returns a value. Do I already have something like this in this class, I wonder? These are like the axis vectors. So yeah, you're supposed to add these together. Do we actually use this anywhere? I guess, I do. Okay, this is to get all the adjacent. So basically we're going to be copying this code. Alright, so for each axis and hex position, Oh, why is it not letting me use that? Hex position axis vectors 2D. Oh, I forgot to put var. I guess I can just say hex position. Yeah, it's weird. I never really use the var keyword in anything except for each statement, so I'm not sure why that is. Okay, so return new block position. Yeah, I can do that. I just want to make sure that I'm... Okay, so we do just return new. I wasn't sure if I should call some other function to create a new one or not. I just want to make sure. So it's our columns plus the axis dot column, and then our row plus the axis dot row, and then our layer. Oh, we don't even want the layer. But I guess we do have to add it like that. Oh, and it should be yield return, shouldn't it? Not just return. Okay, so that should be good. So now we need to add this add ability option, which will be some special function. So I know somewhere I have like a special block pose function. Where did I add that? Maybe I just added it in the map generation? Oh yeah, right here, okay. And that worked fine for this. But the Lua interface manager, I think I'll add all this type of stuff right here. There's no reason that this needs to be hidden, I don't think. So set global block position. And then I know we need to cast it. Oh, the result goes at the end, I remember. Int block position, create block position. Okay, so the only problem about this next part is that we actually want the get targets Lua caller to handle when that other function is called. So I guess we can leave the get position there, but then we'll actually register the other global ourselves. So database Lua set global add what was it? Ability option. Is that what I want to call it? Should it be add ability target option? It's kind of long, but and then we just need to have a function that returns ability target option, create ability target option. Then I need to create this. And then afterwards we'll want to unregister it from the global namespace. Oops, not read file. Remove global. And this is just so other scripts won't have access to this. Okay, but we won't actually return this because this is not in the Moon Sharp class. So we'll need to create it in here. I guess we can call it the same. Ability target, option. Hi, Fire Dragon, I guess that's how you'd say it. Yeah, the Lua scripts will be used for modding. It's, like, Lua can't read C# at runtime, so you need to use some other programming language. Yeah, it's working well so far. Okay, and then this is Moon Sharp user data. Again, this tag just lets Moon Sharp know that it should be able to use this class in Lua. And we want to hide the constructor from Lua. Ability target option. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, we already know we need some way to return an indicator, which I guess I should create that class too. Ability targets indicator. And I'll go ahead and add the Moon Sharp stuff here as well. And Moon Sharp hidden. If you did not add this here, I think Lua would be able to create instances of this class, and we don't want that to happen because we want to have complete control over it. Target indicator, so add indicator, and then we would just return a new one. Probably it has an argument back to this class, but not sure yet. What's it mad about? Oh, it's because this is a public class. I guess it does need to be public so that this ability. Oops, so many classes open now. So this class can actually access it. Right, so for now, we'll just return new. But we almost certainly will want to have a list of them. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. Ability target option. Okay, and yeah, this should be Lua interface. Because we have the same named class, which is not a Lua object. It's a little confusing, but I don't think I want to rename anything because this name just encapsulates exactly what this class is going to be. And I think this ability get targets Lua caller will be the only place that we actually deal with both. So I'm actually surprised it doesn't say this is ambiguous between the two types. Okay, so option equals new, and then we'll add this to the list. So Lua options, add option, and then we'll return it here. Probably this option, I'm not sure. it depends when we want to do validation of whatever the mod author sets. Like take for instance, it tries to put an indicator outside the map. Do we want to throw an error immediately when they set that, or after the function has returned, and then we can validate everything at once? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, so I guess it just depends what's easier. I think actually validating at the end would be better because things can get a little complicated if you try to throw errors. That Lua can access, or during a Lua code's execution. And if, for instance, the Lua really needed to make sure that it was valid, then they could test it themselves. So yeah, I think that's how we'll do it. Okay, so now we'll need to have a list of ability target indicators. And again, we'll just create an indicator here. And then we add it to the list. And then we just return it. And I'm going to go ahead and create a way to access this list because of course the getTargets Lua caller will need to translate this into our game logic classes. But we don't want Moonsharp to be able to access this accessor in this way, so I'm just going to hide it. And let's see. So what else? So I need to be able to set the type and position. I'm a little over time, but I want to try and finish this up. String type and private block pose position. And so basically we'll let Lua be able to access both of these. And I think that might be all we have to do. Oh, okay, I need to add this below to the block position. Let's do it down here. So public block position below. Return new block position column row layer -1. And let's go ahead and make an above as well. The other ones don't make as much sense. I mean, if this was a square, we could just say left, right, forward, and back, but since these are hexagons, you can't really explain them quite as easily. Or I can't name them quite as easily. Sorry, I think I was trying to say. Okay, so I guess, unfortunately I can't test this just yet because we don't have the infrastructure to load this function and then actually run it. I'll have to do that tomorrow, but I'll go ahead and play the game and we can see if there's any syntax errors so far. Come on, Louie, you can do it. Okay, well at least the script ran. And if once I click move, I don't know if we'll get this far tomorrow, but the goal is for it to highlight these hexagons right here where I can move to. So that should possible pretty soon. Alright. Well, I know this was a shorter stream than usual, but it is time for me to head out. Thanks everybody for stopping by and chatting and just watching. I do appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow at like 8:30 Eastern, and we'll continue from where we left off, hooking up the actual game to be able to load and call the Lua scripts and then display some kind of indicator on the hexagons that I can actually move to. After that, we'll need to be able to select the hexagon, and then we'll actually create the actions and move the player. So, and then what will I do? I guess I'll move on, maybe make some kind of damaging move. That should be exciting. Alright, well, thanks again for watching. Have a good night, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Oh, thanks Fire Dragon, I'm glad you're liking it. Hope to see you later.